Did Christopher Columbus discover America by accident? Or was he following a charted course and knew exactly where he was going? History tells us that his expedition was to prove that the world was round, but did he have another agenda? The time period that he decided to make this journey was significant. Ferdinand and Isabella, King and Queen of Spain, issued an official order known as the Spanish Inquisition on March 31st, 1492. This order gave Jews, Muslims, Moors, or Moranos living in Spain the choice of baptism or exile. From the Middle Ages to the 17th century, Europeans depicted Moors as being black or dark-skinned and Muslims as Moors. The Spanish Inquisition extended for over 350 years, and as a result, more than 160,000 Jews were expelled directly. This order allowed forced conversions, torture, and brutality, and millions of people were put to death. The very same year as the Spanish Inquisition, Ferdinand and Isabella, King and Queen of Spain, commissioned Columbus's expedition to the Indies. He reached land in the Bahamas on October 12, 1492, and was not surprised that it was populated because he had translators with him that spoke Hebrew so that they could communicate with the inhabitants. So Columbus did not discover America. However, the word discover had to be used. It may have been a legal term which would allow them to go in and claim or conquer the land. Of course, he also brought along conquistadors who were ruthless, merciless, and conquerors. Oddly though, when they met the first inhabitants in the islands, Columbus's concern was, where's the gold? However, the inhabitants were often described as having a gentle nature and peaceful existence when they were approached. Because the conquistadors came with the intent to steal, kill, and destroy, the violence escalated very quickly. Less than 6 months later, Columbus returned to Spain with gold, spices, and captives from the Indies and was received with the highest honors by the Spanish court. Because Catholic monarchs Ferdinand and Isabella supported Columbus's successful venture, Pope Alexander VI donated the Americas to them and made them legitimate rulers, giving them sovereignty over all the newly found lands in the Atlantic. Sources have estimated that when Columbus landed in Hispaniola in 1492, the very same year as the Inquisition, there could have been from 400,000 up to 4 million people. But by 1507, the population had been reduced to 50,000, and by 1531, it was 600.
Considering the evils and harm, the perditions and ruin, which were never imagined that men were capable of doing, being present in those lands, I have seen committed upon those so many and such great kingdoms, or better said, that entire vast and new world of the Indies. Those lands were considered and given in trust by God in His church to the King and Queen of Castile to rule and govern them, and convert them to the belief in Christ and the Holy Catholic Church. Your Majesty, do not concede such license, nor allow those terrible things that the tyrants did invent, pursue, and have committed against those peaceful, humble, and meek Indian peoples who often no person. In and among these gentle sheep, endowed by their Maker and Creator, decreed the Spaniards, who no sooner had knowledge of these people than they became like fierce wolves, tigers, and lions. And no other thing have they done in 40 years until this day, and still today see fit to do, but dismember, slay, perturb, afflict, torment, and destroy the Indians by all manners of cruelty, in new and diverse ways, such as never before seen, read, or heard of. On the island of Hispaniola, the 3 million souls that we once saw, today there be no more than 200 of those native people remaining. The island of Cuba, today, it is almost devoid of population. The island of San Juan, Puerto Rico, and that of Jamaica, large and well-favored and lovely islands, but have been laid waste. The customs that have been employed by those calling themselves Christians in striking from the face of the earth those suffering nations is unjust, cruel, bloody, and tyrannical warfare, and to oppress them with the hardest, harshest, and most heinous bondage. The cause for which the Christians have slain and destroyed so many and such infinite numbers of souls has been simple to get, as their ultimate end the Indians got, and to stuff themselves with riches in a very few days, and to rise themselves to high status. It should be noted that the insatiable greed and ambition they have had has been greater than any the world has ever seen before.
Bartholomew de las Casas was an ordained Roman Catholic priest, missionary, theologian, historian, and bishop. His desire was to treat the Native American Indians humanely and convert them to Christianity, not to enslave them or kill them. He became the champion of the Native American Indians in the West Indies, Peru, and Guatemala in the 16th century. He was convinced that they originated in ancient Israel and had proof that they were of the lost tribes.